Hi, Empaths. Welcome back. I am sending you so much love, so much light, so many blessings for your epic empath journey. I hope it's epic. I hope it's wonderful for you. And no matter what is happening in your world, no matter what challenges, no matter what obstacles, remember, if you can, that on some level, your soul and the divine that works with your structure, I call that God, but it's your ancestors and the angels that watch over you, a lot of teachers, mentors, guides, your soul team, and of course, the creator of all that is. You know, you on some level, at a higher level, you may not remember it, but you signed up for this world path, this life experience. So the good, the bad, the ugly, the challenges, the painful, the struggles, the loss, the grief, as well as all of the wonderful, beautiful things are an amalgamation of learning. Earth is school, and for the evolved souls that realize that, it's a lot easier to navigate the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, because we remember, first of all, who we are, that on some level, we and God, creator, the source, established this. It's like we created a game, that can be kind of a matrix at times. And we decided that we're going in, it's like at a soul level, we were like, okay, I'm ready, I'm going in. We train at boot camp, the sanctuary of the heart, the higher realms, where we know with clarity who we are and that we are divinely supported. We go into base and we train and we integrate and we learn or relearn, or we shed density, or we clear karmic debts. You know what I mean? We pay our dues, we learn, and then we go back in. And that is why many of us do believe in past, present, and future lives. And some people believe that past, present, and future are all co-occurring right now in different dimensions. So, whether you believe in past life theory or co-occurring lives, or even if you just think we have this one lifetime and this is it, one shot and that's it, whatever your beliefs are based on your traditions, your upbringing, your culture, etc., we're here now. And from a divine perspective, we consented, we agreed to be here with all the life lessons, all of the experiences, all of the challenges and obstacles, so that we could bring spirit essence, so that we could finesse this human experience by being human with, a grace, I guess, if you will, the blessing of spirit, to come here being spirit, having a human experience, or to have that human experience through the lens of being spirit, completely shifts this life, right? When we look through the lens of divine and spiritual, it really changes, or universal consciousness, it really changes the dynamic and the frequency, the vibration of the experience that we're having. If we're stuck in victim mindset or woe is me, then the experience is pretty dire, right? If we feel like our life experience is completely up to and subject to the dictates of government, then it can be pretty dire, right? Or if we even subject our life experience to the races or to religion, if it's limited to somebody's ideas or opinions about what this is supposed to be for all of us, it can be pretty scary and dire. But if we continue to set our sights above and remember that we are divine, sacred, beautiful, evolved beings, some of them us with angelic lineages, when we remember that, just take a deep breath as you remember, dear beautiful empaths, who you are and what your lineage really is. Not just your human lineage, not just your human ancestry, but your divine ties, your divine connections to the source of creation. Just embrace that for a few moments with breath. Let that knowledge, that wisdom, that understanding, that integration just fill every part of your being, your cells, your organs, your blood, your bones, the fact that you are divinely supported and divinely connected, and that your lineage is spirit, your lineage is divinity. How beautiful, right? So with that understanding, you are an ambassador of light, and you're not a helpless human that is just succumbing to the painful human experiences that happen. No, you're a divine, evolved, turbo warrior badass that intentionally decided to come here as an ambassador of light, as a messenger of God, and as a way shower and a healer, someone who chooses to be a beacon and a channel of the divine. That's who you are, empath. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So today we are talking about timelines and choices, and there's three areas that Spirit is leading me to discuss today. First of all, for some of you, the timeline or the experiences of your childhood, that timeline is ending, regardless to whatever age you are. You might be an adolescent, teenager, you might be a young adult, you might be middle-aged, older adult, wherever you are, whatever age you are, there are certain issues that were connected to your childhood that are now over. You learned those lessons. You had that journey. You integrated what you were supposed to, integrate or experience, and that timeline is now coming to an end. While your life force is still very present, and you will continue to live and carry on and do, other work as an empath, some of those childhood lessons are fast coming to an end. And so this is a beautiful thing. So rejoice, because a lot of you, that meant a lot of pain and hardship, things learned, in childhood or experienced, upbringing, erroneous thinking, things taught. It could be racism. That's coming up. So like racist ideas about other cultures, elitist ideas, power and control dynamics, issues related to domestic violence, issues related sexism. So things related to the genders, like in terms of what gender roles and, who's supposed to do what. Like a lot of that is just, it was associated with childhood and upbringing and what you learned. And a lot of that is now fast coming to an end. Also, issues related to debt and ideas about debt and owning property or owning houses. Something about, debt, like school loans, house loans, car loans, ideas about going into debt, ideas about always being in debt, ideas about not pursuing certain things because it's going to incur debt. All that is coming to an end. Those are old timelines and not applicable anymore to your reality, empath. Remember, you are a beautiful divine beacon of light, and not only a channel for good and peace and blessings and calm for the collective and the community, but you also have a certain level of magic. You have a certain level of power. You have a certain ability to call those things that be not as though they were or are, and manifest them. You have an ability to recalibrate situations, your own life, your own finances, your own health, and manifest in this now moment in real time a new reality, a new experience. Sometimes it's just a matter of changing your thinking, going from erroneous thinking to higher light perspective. Sometimes it is, doing a physical detox, an emotional detox, realigning the chakra system, clearing out the subtle bodies, getting a deep healing, aligning your shadow with your light, arresting your ego, eating better, changing relationships, associating with people of your high vibe tribe, and aligning yourself with people who truly have the ability to see your light and honor you and welcome you and bless you. Sometimes it's really just that simple, and our timeline shifts. But we also have a degree of power. Some of us come from shamanic lineages. We have shamans in our family, indigenous people, medicine women. We come from tribes and cultures that honored the earth and used natural, plant medicine and herbs, and did all these beautiful natural things, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. And a lot of those are being reactivated. Light codes are being reactivated in us, and old ancient practices, ancient things that we used to do culturally, traditionally, in our spiritual lineage, the ways of old that allowed us to be connected, have a divine connection, like a radio transmitter between our spirit, our soul in this human form. So our spirit essence in this human form, we used to, meaning our ancestors, had a connection to the divine that's been lost because of human technology and all of our modern technologies, which are great. They help us to be, to do all these things, but they also sometimes hinder our divine connection. For example, if you go outside at night and, the stars are out and there's a cool breeze, but there's no noise, no radio, no phones, no computers, no cars, no nothing. Maybe you're in the country somewhere out in nature, an open field, and you can literally hear just the night sounds, like the little night bugs, or sometimes there's birds, sometimes there's night birds, I've heard them, or crickets, or a wind, a breeze, or if there's a nearby stream. Sometimes when we just go in and listen to nature without any distraction from human technology or artificial technology, our internal antennas become activated, and that connection that's always been there, that's innate, it comes online like that in a very powerful way. So that little tiny flame within us of connection, if you're in the right environment and you remove artificial distractions, it can become a very magnetic, energized, dynamic flame, and it can happen really quickly. So these innate abilities are reactivating within some of us as old timelines come to a close. Old timelines are fast. I'm seeing a circular motion, and I'm seeing it go this way for whatever reason. I'm seeing a circular motion. Timelines are they're like winding up. They're like winding this way, and they're like kind of like tape, like old reel tapes, like old movie reel, like old movies, you know what I mean? Like the 30s or whatever, or maybe it was before that, like old reels, like I'm seeing tape reels, old movie reels, old timelines, not just yours, but the genetics and epigenetics, the emotional genes and defense mechanisms and coping skills and traumas and dramas of family. I'm seeing the old tape, the old reels winding up and being wiped out. And so this is super good news for us empaths, because we are letting go of some of the old patterns. So there's cycles and patterns and habits and things. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say that you tend to date the wrong people. Over and over again, different faces, but the same toxic, dysfunctional human. Okay. But what you maybe didn't realize is that the pattern, even as much as you don't want to do that, and you're wondering, why does this keep happening? I'm in the light. I'm a light worker. I'm an empath. Why do I keep drawing in these dysfunctional, toxic, narcissistic, whatever it is, types of humans? What some of you haven't realized is that you were basically carrying out energetic, epigenetic contracts associated with parents, grandparents, previous ancestors. That there's cycles that have been replaying and playing themselves out in your lifetime up to now, and some of that is fast coming to a close right now. It's like done. That timeline is over. You have elevated. Beautiful. So wonderful. So from this perspective, dear ones, launch higher, take a deep breath, imagine that you've climbed a mountain and now you're elevated and you're at the very top. Take a nice deep breath from the top of the mountain. Give yourself permission to be at that elevated state, that higher timeline. Give yourself permission to access all of the light codes and power and blessings and abundance that come at that level from that vantage point. Just receive the new energy of this current timeline. And recognize, dear ones, here in this space, at this new level, this new energy, this new vibration, this new frequency, this new vantage point, there is no reason to remain in old timelines because they've closed out. You have free will. So the energy's closed out. It's like you wouldn't intentionally choose to use DOS or Lotus on your computer, given the fact that we don't do that anymore, given the fact that we have new, updated versions of computer software available, right? So you don't need to be in the old timeline or the old pattern at this time. You can let things go. And so from this perspective, take a deep, healing, cleansing breath as you recalibrate and transmute and shift energy that no longer serves you. Just let it go. Whew. Step in. You might even literally want to stand up and step into a new timeline. Just give yourself permission to have that physical, metaphorical symbol of accessing the new. Just recognize that staying where something hurts you or staying with individuals that hurt you, whether it's a job or a person, a lover, even friendships, that's no longer required. Remaining where you are not celebrated or respected or blessed or honored, no longer required. Remaining where you are disrespected, where you're just tolerated, or where you're taken advantage of or misunderstood, or where there's been scheming or conniving against you, backbiting, tolerating that is no longer necessary. And sometimes we stay because the culprits, the characters, are family members or people we've known for a long, long time. Those timelines are done. That doesn't mean you have to cut out your family, but you are no longer obligated in this lifetime to only see your family as your human family. What's being offered and gifted to you is for you to cling to your divine lineage, your empath lineage, your angelic lineage, your spiritual lineage, and recognize that your family is broader maybe than what you previously recognized or understood. So childhood timelines are shifting at this time. Now allow them to just drift away. Inhale, exhale, let them just float on by. Out of your energy field, out of your cells, out of your organs, out of your memory, out of your blood, your bones. Let the old childhood traumas and dramas and timelines of the past, antiquated, no longer working, no longer necessary, no longer required. Let them just sift out, shift out. Deep breath. Ooh. Okay. And finally, several of you have contacted me recently, talking to me about your fears or concerns related to death, either the death, your own death, or the death of a loved one, or people around you that are sick or struggling. And so many of you are worried about people, or you've experienced something that was really hard recently, And I'm sending you love and light and strength to undergird you at this time as you go through hard things. You can do it. Empath, you got this, and you are divinely supported. So remember to link in with your lineage, your spiritual lineage. Let them anchor you and support you, and you will be completely guided and protected at this time. But I want to remind you, dear empaths, don't fear death, okay? You're supported now and always. And as we know, transition is a part of this human experience. You know, dear ones, whenever that time comes for you to pass on and transition, a long time ago, a long time from now, when you've completed your work, what we would all love is to be like old, right? Super old, like maybe 100 years old, in good health, and die, sweetly, gently in our beds, right? While we're sleeping. Something like that would be so lovely and so beautiful to just transition so naturally like that. But dear ones, whenever that day comes and you transition into the light, you're going to be greeted by angels and ancestors and family that loves you, spiritual beings that have been watching over you, some of you since you were a little child. And they are going to say, well done, child, brother, sister, family member. We love you. We are so happy. You're going to be welcomed and cheered on. How do I know this? Because I've seen it. I've seen it twice in my lifetime. Once when I was a teenager, and once not too long ago. I've seen the procession of joy and gratitude and celebration. I've seen what happens when we cross over, when we've dedicated our lives in service to the Creator and creation, when we have allowed ourselves to be channels of light and wisdom and blessing to humanity. When that day comes and we transition, it's marvelous. It's beautiful. When my mother passed away, the day she passed, about maybe like an hour before she passed away, I was standing in front of her. So there was a wall between me and her. There was a wall, and then I was in front of the wall, and then there was my mom in a bed. And we were talking, and we'd been praying, and we'd been meditating. And all of a sudden, she looked behind me at the white wall. Well, she wasn't seeing the wall, but that's what it looked like she was looking at. And she was looking beyond me into some dimension, and she kept saying, "It's so beautiful." That's what she kept saying. She was like, "It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Wow." Like she was so mesmerized by this beautiful dimension, which I believe is what we probably call heaven, She was seeing the light, and she was seeing the divine, and she was seeing the angels, and she was seeing the ancestors. And I saw nothing behind me physically, but I felt her energy, and I felt her frequency, and I felt her vibration, and she was preparing to transition into that space, and she was getting a glimpse of what she was going to. And so my mother passed many years ago, and after she passed, and even to this day, I have dreams of my mom, and or even visions of my mom. When I have dreams of my mom, she's older than she was at the time she died. So it's as if she's in this other dimension continuing to grow. I mean, she looks better, she looks beautiful, but she also looks older than she was when she passed away. And it's as if when I meet her in dream space, it's as if she just basically continued to grow older on the other side, but in a way, like she looks younger, her face looks younger, but she looks older. It's weird, it's hard to explain. But all that to say, dear ones, there's nothing to fear. Don't be afraid of your own transition a long time from now. And don't be afraid when your loved ones pass away. Of course, send love and light to people who are in the hospital, or your loved ones who are, on their deathbed. But be encouraged, sweet ones, and know that the divine that loves you and supports you on this side of the light is going to greet you on the other side of the light, and they will, when that day comes, escort you and your loved ones beautifully, magically. You'll feel so supported, and your loved ones will feel so supported and so nestled in the arms of the divine. So while we're here, rather than give in to fear, be completely grounded and anchored and encouraged in the knowing that you are supported and you are loved and you are seen and you are known, and you have been since you were very, very young. And you will be not only in this life, but in the next life as well. So our task, knowing who we are, knowing that we are completely supported and anchored and divinely guided and protected, is to live as spirit while we're still human. Be as much divine spirit as you possibly can. Let spirit infiltrate and exude from your cells and your organs and your essence and your actions and your thoughts and your words, and the love that emanates from your heart. Let it be divine. Let it be the highest light. Be spirit in your human experience. Let fear go, because there's no need for it. Let competition go. Let imposter syndrome go. Let low self-esteem go. Let all this anxiety and worry and depression and stress, let it go. Let the fear go. Let the worry go. You're not in competition with anyone. You are divinely loved. You are divinely supported. You have everything you need. You're already rich in spirit. If you're connected to the divine, you have everything you need. If you remember who you are and why you're here, then you've already learned the lessons. Everything else, the house and the cars and the cute little pets and the traveling around the world and learning all these different languages and finding the love of your life, soulmates and friends and weddings and parties and, promotions and getting the job of your dreams and starting a business and, celebrating all the things, all the beautiful things. That's the frosting of life. Those are the sprinkles. That's the candy coating. But to remember who you are and why you're here, and to open yourself to being a channel of the divine, being divinity in this human form, being spirit in your human experience. If you can integrate that and be that and exude that, you have learned the number one reason why you came. You've learned the lesson. And you can also help a lot of people before it's your time to transition. So, my loves, I do hope that this message has encouraged you. Timelines are shifting. The old timelines are coming to a quick, fast end. And we are accessing a new dimension of beauty and love and light and divinity within us. And it will be reflected in our outer world. Yeah. So these are the messages I have for you, beautiful ones. I'm sending you so much love and so much light. And may you continue to just excel and be blessed in all ways.